I was going to stand on stage tonight, and in the midst of my talk about the Lord, I was just going to, say, we're bearing cross and we walk for the Lord, and I'd like to share this with you that my roadies gave me, but they won't let me do that on stage.
He's weird. Dude's just not elevated.
Are you all ready?
Yes, I'm waiting. I still got a pack, so let's hurry, please.
Okay, I'm ready. Are you going to fill my feet? I'm holding my
Mike,
socks.
Mike, please.
Hope you're not going to film with your socks.
Are you going to fill my socks?
No, they're not. This is.
Can't even see him.
Oh.
Can't even see him.
That's pretty funny.
Come on, Mikey.
Come on, Mike.
Mike is going to put his sunglasses on tonight.
It's alright, I put them on once in a while.
That's because you're just totally cool.
Move over, guys. Just
Move over here.
no, you
Over
move
this
over.
section.
No.
Mike, just stand right.
Mike,
Stand
put
up.
your ego on the outside there.
It doesn't look that towards it like that. Mike, this is not for
This is for radio.
it's for radio. Otherwise, it wouldn't be wearing my Washington D.C.
I
hat.
know.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
Okay.
First question. For the whole band, what are
Do you want us all to answer at
upcoming
once?
goals for the band, both spiritual and musically? Records, videos.
Well, we just completed our first major video, which is Imaginary Music, and we're anticipating some really good things. But it's hard to say what the goals are. When we initially started this band, we had no idea that we'd come to this place. So right now, we're pretty much where the Lord takes us is where we're going. But we anticipate, we're hoping to hook up on a major tour. We're hoping to go triple platinum with the record, and we're hoping to continue making records that make a positive impact on whoever buys our music, and just trying to make an awareness of what's going on around.
All right,
That's
how about
it.
first, your names, and let's see, your names, and then what your parents think of being in Barren Cross.
How about what they used to think?
What they used to think or what they think?
Well, when you first got in the band, what they used to think, and now what they
Get a job.
I'm Ray Paris, and when I first, well, I think they didn't care until I quit college, and then they started wondering what was going on. So at first they weren't real hip on the idea, but now they are a 100% support. I call my dad, a couple times a week and get advice on, business things and as well as spiritual things. So it's really good now. They're really behind us.
I'm Steve Whitaker, drummer for Barren Cross, and both my parents, they're separated by two
All your
families.
parents?
All my parents, yeah. They were a bit skeptical at first, and we rehearsed for a very long time at my mother's house. So first time she saw these guys walking up the driveway, she thought, "Oh my Lord, what am I getting into?" But now she's probably our #1 biggest support and fan, and she's written a book about Christian music and what's going on. And for my father's been a musician all my life since I was born. My whole family's in music, and for a long time he figured this was going to end real soon and I'd go back to work. And he owns a company that he offered me a job in, and as we left on this tour and as the weeks went on, I didn't come home again. He realized I wasn't going. He got very excited, and as he saw magazine articles come out, and it's been a blessing. They're both of them, very excited and very supportive.
All 8 of them.
Eight parents.
All 8 moms and dads.
We called them. I called my mother-in-law, as a matter of fact, from the Empire State Building. It was in New York City, and that was really exciting too. But it's going good.
My name is Mike Lee. I sing for Barren Cross, and my mom and dad, my mommy and daddy used to feed me. But then I went to college. To see if I can learn to feed myself. I'm sorry, man.
It's
I went to college for 2 weeks. I had computer training, and for 2 weeks, and then I couldn't handle it, so I dropped out, and decided, well, the music business is for me. And that was pretty much around the time when, well, I became a Christian a couple of years earlier than that, but I'm now getting my story all screwed up. And,
They want to know what your parents think of it. They don't care where you're from and what you're doing. What do your mom and dad think of this thing?
My parents had kicked him out of the country.
Yeah, that's why he's in California, because they kicked him out of France.
Yeah, I was really born in Nicaragua, and see, that's where the song "Cherished Child"
Let's get
came about.
serious. Both Mike's parents come to our concerts and
Yeah,
very supportive. Same
you used to be
situation.
not supportive really at all. I used to wonder, well, they used to really push school on me, going to college, but you know, get a real job, the whole thing. But they're not very supportive. So.
My turn?
Here,
I know,
let's try something.
It's a guy
Be-
behind you.
Should I just hold it?
Yes, if it'll reach.
Okay. I get the.
Hello, my name is Heen.
Go ahead. Zin.
My name is Heem. I'm sorry. Okay.
We're okay, really. We are normal
You
people.
guys don't do this to me, man.
Jim is very fond of
Jim,
cats.
you're laughing in front of 18 million
All right.
people.
Okay. My name is my name is Jim Laverty, and I play bass guitar for the band.
Thinks he does.
Barren Cross, I do. My dad thought that I was crazy when I first joined the band, and I brought him the first demo tape that I recorded with them. That has one of my favorite songs called "He Is With You." And anyway,
That's an inside joke.
I'm sorry. You just say. Anyway, so I brought this tape to my dad, and he heard it, and he said, "Man, who is that singer?" That's the first thing he said was, "Oh my gosh." Anyway, so I kept continuing with the band, and as the band got to play in bigger places, you know, he started coming to the shows. And I can remember the one show he came to was Calvary Chapel Downey when we opened up for Daryl Mansfield, and there was about 1,500 people there. It was packed, and he could not even believe, you know, all these people came out to actually see Daryl Mansfield, but he couldn't actually believe that we were playing in front of that many people. And so he was actually the first person to lay down the money on the table to help us with our first EP, Believe. And Steve's mom and Ray's,
Didn't do anything.
yeah, Ray's mom and Mike's mom and dad are very much out of the picture. No, but anyways, they really helped us out financially, and they really, really believe in the band, and you know, it's been that story ever since.
I have 2 dogs and a cat, and that's really the most important thing here.
Shut up.
Alright, how's the sale of Tom Marino doing?
Very well.
I heard the last count was 48 million.
No, we wish it was 48 million. It's projected to get 100,000 approaching the end of the month, is what they're talking. So it's going very well. Each concert, each place we go into, each city, the record sales are picking up. So we're doing our part, the record company's doing their part, and we're waiting, anticipating, you know, more sales. But right now, I don't have an accurate figure, but it's approaching 100,000.
Any reason for the long delay between Rock the King and Tom?
Well, yeah,
Negotiations.
we were in negotiations with Enigma Records, and we got a very good deal. And
That's why it took so
you know, it also was a very positive, very, very positive thing for the band, because we were able to write better songs, and it was, yeah. I mean, it's better. You know, it's like we didn't write hurry-up songs. I mean, we took time to write Living Dead. We took time to write In the Eye of the Fire, which were complicated songs, and so it was better. It also helped us spiritually too. Helped me spiritually, and it was fantastic. A good time of waiting, and it
Jim
was
quit
worth
the
it.
band twice in the process.
And Ray talked me into coming back in. I can remember this one rainy night after practice, but anyway.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, it's a true story. I quit
I mean,
twice.
it's real frustrating, you know, 8 months go by and you're still waiting for your record contract, wondering if they're just going to drop the whole thing. Or,
Drop the ball or run with it. But
Because of it, we have a very good relationship with our record company. It shows us that they really wanted to work with us, and it showed them that we really wanted to work with them. So it's a really good situation right now for us.
yeah, it's been a blessing ever since. They're a good
we
record.
like Enigma. Yay.
Yay, Enigma come.
Yay. Hi, Wes.
I'm sorry. Hi, Wes Hine.
How
Oh,
many
you.
of the members are married?
3.
Wait. Say you?
Mike Lee, lead vocals.
Everybody but him.
Lead vocals.
I am not married. Lead vocals are married, drummer and the guitar player are married.
The guitar player's married.
Jim likes his bass a lot.
I take my bass.
To bed.
Sick. Edit that part.
Edit.
What about musical influence? Musical influences for each one.
Early on, my influences were Richie Blackmore, Al Di Meola, and currently I enjoy that new dude, Joe Santriani, and what's the other guy? Vinnie Moore, very good guitar player. I enjoy a lot of that. Gosh, there's a ton. I like the guy over at Lab Sound too, Vince.
Everybody else.
Vince at Lab Sound just got a plug.
Okay.
Literally, my initial influence was my uncle was playing in clubs when I was growing up, and I was 3 years old. But my favorite drummers I really admire Tommy Aldridge and Steve Smith.
Okay. My turn. Bass players.
Finally my turn.
No. I really admire Danny Bonaducci, Partridge Family. He's my. Yeah.
Don't they sound like a heavy metal Partridge Family?
They opened up for us once. You better edit that. They're friends of ours, but
They're good. Honestly,
actually,
about that.
David Cassidy and Danny Bonaducci and the guy Chris that plays drums, the little guy, they're in the group. They grew long hair. Anyway, my true real influences are like Spaghetti Lee from Rush. I'm sorry, Geddy Lee. Chris Squire, Jaco Pastoria, who is now deceased.
Jocko.
Yeah, he's deceased.
What band was he in?
Jocko.
Yeah.
Jocko?
Jocko Pastorius has his own band.
That guy was really ugly.
Anyways, he's.
Tangent here.
Abraham Laborio. Just on all the best bass players are my influences. I'm not influenced by people that like play bass on one note and Judas Priest people.
He likes bass players who play E and go home. Well, my main influences, as far as songwriting, has been a lot of from the progressive background. King Crimson, Yes, and Kansas were basically my favorite bands. Also Black Sabbath. I would say Ronnie James Dio has always been my favorite voice, and he's basically a jerk, but he's a good singer.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Edit.
Edit right
If
out.
Dio ever hears this, it's basically.
Oh, okay.
You need to leave this interview.
A lot of people say, well, again, these Christian bands, they don't listen to Christian music. Is that the case in this band?
That we don't listen to.
I mean, yeah, they listen
We don't listen
to
to
a lot of
secular
secular music.
Well, I think that there's a balance with that. When I first joined the band, I was if you listen to any kind of secular music, you're going to go to hell and lose your salvation, and that's not true. I think that you got to be careful what goes into your mind. If you're listening to a song that has bad words, sorry, Steve, a song that has bad words in it, and that's going into your mind, obviously. But Joe Citriani does music that's just music, right? And we listen to his tape, and I think he's a fantastic musician. There's no words or lyrics, but I wouldn't listen to, Number of the Beast over and over and over again by Iron Maiden, because I know that would probably drag me down spiritually, and so there's a real fine balance with that.
It comes down to, I think, not just secular music, but how much time do you spend involving yourself and developing your mind with things of the world, and how much time do you spend in the Word of God and seeking the Lord. So, that's a hard question to say. Some of my favorite bands are Christian bands, and there's so much good Christian music coming out that it's comparable to anything that any secular person can put out. Michael Jackson, any of those people, there's too good a Christian music to have to listen to secular music. But there's good secular music too.
My views on that, I think that really like Jim was saying, what goes in comes out, garbage in, garbage out. But I think we definitely have to keep up on what the world's doing. We have to keep up on, what our competition's doing, and so we can be most effective to our fans who listen to us. So I think there's a definite balance in there. I agree with Steve and on what he said about the quality of time that you put into the music. If you're listening just to listen to it over and over and over again, it's gonna reap sadness or bitterness or whatever is involved in the music. So it's something to be very careful about.
Any comment? Okay. What about any advice for a struggling Christian teen that's, in your song Deadlock? What advice do you have for them to really be where they should be in their Christian walk?
Well,
As far as substance abuse,
Substance abuse or drugs?
that's what Deadlock.
Drugs and just the whole thing, see, when I listen to Deadlock, the drugs and stuff came to my mind, but it seemed also, your Christian walk is sort of dead, and you're stuck in this like a rut. And
The rut is drugs. That's what the song is.
is that what the whole song is about? See, I took it as it's also Christian walk too.
Oh no, it's totally
That's interesting that you took it that way. I think that's neat. I think that's good because it certainly is something that that a lot of Christians do. And I was raised in a conservative Baptist Christian home, so I always knew through high school and junior high. I never really got into drug abuse or anything like that. But I knew in the back of my mind, I considered myself a Christian. And Christians and young Christians and teenagers especially, you're so wrapped up and there's so much peer pressure going on that you get locked into what your friends say, come on, try this, or let's go party, or let's go do this, let's go do that. And it's something that you have to really search your heart. What do you really want? Are you going to serve your friends and do what they want to do just to be cool? Or are you going to fulfill your heart, fulfill your soul, and do what the Lord wants you to do what you know is right to do?
one comment that I have on that is that a lot of people have misconceptions about Christianity, and they think that, the minute you become a Christian, if you were previously addicted to smoking or an alcoholic or addicted to drugs or something like that, that you're immediately not addicted. And see, that's not true. It's a false thing that needs to be faced, because there's a lot of people that go through tremendous turmoil in their life because the stigma is put on them. If you smoke, you're not a Christian. If you're addicted to smoking. And you do have the power in the Lord to do all things, but if you're addicted to smoking and you become a Christian, or if you're addicted to drugs and become a Christian, yes, the Lord's going to help you out, but God doesn't expect you to be 100% rid of this thing if you're physically addicted to it. And it's wrong. It's wrong to do drugs in the God's eyes, but God also has patience with us. And I like the lyrics that says, I'm talking to you as a friend, and I'm going to love you till the bitter end. That's what God tells us. Drugs or whatever kind of sin that you're dealing with.
He's there to help you overcome it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
The main point is that God wants you the way you are. If it's drugs or cigarettes, whatever it is, you're not expected to change before God will accept you.
That's right.
God will help you get rid of those things in your life if you desire to, and you desire to seek Him. And a lot of people have a hard problem with that, like Jim said.
Plus, there's a lot of good programs. If you are really physically addicted, there's tons of programs to help you out. And look any of them up and get off any type of drug, substance, or Alcoholics Anonymous, Al-Anon, all that stuff is good to look into.
Yeah, definitely. We believe in all those programs. But another thing too is that we're not putting out the miraculous. We're not saying that God cannot miraculously heal somebody, because I've seen it happen myself. Where God has healed somebody, but God also uses modern medicine to help in that area. So.